Warning, the stories you're about to hear are detailed accounts of shenanigans, pranks, and some mistakes that are meant to replicate the sort of discussions that veterans have when they reunite over a cold beverage and do not depict the professional daily actions of the military at large. We hope to make you laugh, but not to disrespect our proud men and women in uniform. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Cammo Comedy, where we take a humorous look at the lighter side of military service. We got a big show for you today, but before we jump into it, if you like what we're doing here, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, whatever they call it on your podcasting platform. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating, write us a review, as that makes us more relevant in the algorithm and boosts the overall visibility of the show. But word-of-mouth advertising is just so powerful, so if you tell some friends, I will love you forever. Okay, let's jump into the show. I am your host, Aaron Wolf. Joining me again today is the great, the powerful call sign Cheeks. Cheeks, welcome back, buddy. It's always a blast to have you in studio.
Woo!
Fuck, you're excited to be here today, man.
I'm always excited to be here. Remember, folks, spread cheeks, not hate.
That's good advice to live by, honestly. I mean, you can't hate when you're spreading cheeks.
You can't.
Fucking A. Well, are you ready for my first story?
I'm always ready.
All right, so this one dates back to the 1980s, right? This happens in Europe, and we have two American GIs. We're going to go ahead and call them Frankie and Eric. And there is one local European lady. We're going to go ahead and call her Patricia.
Can we call her Patty for short?
Yeah, we'll call her Pat.
Patty cakes?
Patties. Smacking the patties, whatever. Anyway, so we got Patty, we got Frankie, and we've got Eric, okay? Now, it's important to note in this particular area of Europe, there was a lot of petty crime. So there was a custom when ladies would come into a bar. They would go ahead and they would turn their purse or their bag, whatever they would carry on them, over to the bartender to kind of keep behind the bar. That way you kind of prevent pickpockets and people like that, right? So this happens during the American GI's downtime.
Which nothing good ever happens in GI's downtime.
No, that's why they keep people busy all the time, because shit like this comes up. So wait for it. Check this out, man. So you got Frankie and Eric, and they're having a couple drinks, just enjoying themselves as young guys do. And by the way, these are low enlisted guys. They're probably late teens, early 20s at best. It's important to note that, right? So they are sitting over by the bar. In walks Patricia, right? And she gets up on a bar stool to hand over her purse to the bartender. And if you can imagine this, she's got shins and knees down on the bar stool, and she kind of is leaning over and sticks her very voluptuous, nice European ass in Frankie's face, right? Oh. Frankie, acting on impulse here, by the way, we're not condoning this, leans over and just goes nomp and bites her right on her ass.
With his mouth?
Yes, with his mouth. No, okay, with his foot. Of course with his mouth.
Oh, my God.
So, and we're not condoning this kind of behavior.
No.
But what follows is really funny, right? So Frankie just gets a nice mouthful, and there's a guy that's, several seats down the bar, goes nuclear. Turns out that this is Patricia's boyfriend, right? He goes nuclear, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
right?
Reasonable.
So about 4 other guys stand up with this other guy that's pissed, and he's yelling at him in whatever local European language it was. It was not English. Eric is like, oh, fuck, man, my buddy just stepped in it. I got to back him up, because what are you going to do? It's 5-on-1. If he gets in the mix, it's at least kind of evening out the odds. Now it's a 5-on-2.
Oh, yeah, that's your battle buddy, man. It's got to be your ride or die.
So,
which it sounds like they're going to die.
Well, so check this out. Eric is like, you know what? I got to start thinning the herd here. We're far outnumbered. So he just throws a wild sucker punch from hell, and all he sees is floor, ceiling, wall, bam. And he is just getting fucked up. Doesn't even know what's going on, right? It turns out that they just picked a fight with what turns out to be an Olympic European Judo champion team.
Oh, no.
And they are getting their asses kicked.
So
it's not only the fact that they are outnumbered, but they also picked a fight with people who really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they just got fucked up. And look, Frankie, obviously, we're not condoning his behavior. He did the wrong thing. He deserves to get his ass kicked. This is street justice. This is instant karma, whatever you want to call it, right? So right about that same time, the bartender, he was a local guy. He's waving his arms. He's saying, enough of this, enough of this. Yeah, hey, he takes everybody, including Patricia, all the American GIs, the Olympic judo champion team. They all go off to one side and you say, hey, you owe them an apology, pointing at the American GIs, everything like this, buy them around. He was kind of the middleman that was facilitating, the de-escalation of this problem.
Mediating this judo team from putting these people in the hospital.
Yeah. So
I picture who is it? Eric that got thrown? Is that what you said?
Yes. Eric got his ass kicked.
Feet dragging the floor and then the wall and the ceiling as he's getting just absolutely destroyed.
Well, it was pretty bad. So the way they described it is, when I was interviewing these guys, they described it as you could tell the judo team was even holding back because they could have really hurt him. And it was lucky that the bartender kind of stepped in and was like, hey, we're going to de-escalate this kind of stuff because, everybody, he had a good rapport with both sides of this encounter. So the American GIs that would come in, including Eric and Frankie, they were, fairly good aside from this night.
Yeah.
And then, the judo guys that are coming in, they were pretty good people. So it was just like, listen, we're happy to report, though, they had a good outcome to this. After everything de-escalated and drinks were passed back and forth both ways, Patricia got her apology. It's important to note that, too. She got an apology from Frankie, and they were all they were in the local area for about another year or something like that. So they remained friendly and things of this. Good. They actually kind of became fairly close after this whole thing.
There was a hierarchy established.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, hey, you're going to show some motherfucking respect. Yeah. We don't care who you are or who you're with. This is not the conduct that we expect.
You don't get to nom-nom on Patty Cake's ass as she's trying to stop petty crime.
Yeah, it is good to see that people got their hilarious comeuppance instantaneously. You just happen to do the wrong thing to the wrong person. You got what you had coming, man.
Maybe it was to the right person because they got taught a fucking lesson.
Fuck yeah, they showed some respect after that. And by the way, we just want to note, we don't condone any kind of harassment, sexual or otherwise. So if you get harassed, if you're harassing, then you absolutely should get your ass kicked.
Stop saying harass.
Do you think I should get my ass kicked for saying harass?
I'm going to kick your ass for saying harass.
I will spank your tits. Fuck you. All right.
Spank my tits.
Yes. Potato. Right. I mean, I can pronounce things the way I like to pronounce them. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody in the audience knows what I'm talking about. I'm a shirt that says I was harassed.
H-A-I-R.
Harassed.
A-S-S-E-D. Harassed.
Yes.
Can you use it in a sentence?
You are harassing me right now about the way I talk.
What's the country of origin?
It is America, bitch.
All right. So speaking of hierarchies, all right.
Yeah.
Leads us into the next story. This is a basic training story, which are always the best. So we have lights out, right? Everybody knows that lights out in basic training. Your time is not yours, okay?
Right.
They'll give you time. I think nowadays they give you your phone time, right? But back before, I think this was in the 90s. So back then it was letter time, right?
Definitely legit. Yeah.
So you'd sit down and you'd write your letters, and you were given an allocated amount of time for doing that. Okay, it wasn't once it's time's up, it's time's up. When it's lights out, it's fucking lights out. It's time to go to sleep. Okay.
Your time in basic training is not your own.
No,
it's not like you can just say, "Hey, I'm going to stay up tonight. I'm going to write a letter home." They literally will dictate to you everything that you do, including sleep time, including what time you're going to have your meals, whether you can or cannot have snacks, all of that stuff. Well, everything is considered to be a privilege.
This was after lights out, and there's this guy. He's like, "Oh, you know what? Fuck it. It's lights out. I'm gonna pull my notepad out, and I'm gonna start writing my letter home."
Rookie mistake.
Everybody thinks they're gonna get away with it.
Yeah,
they never do.
What's the harm, man? I'm just gonna write down on a little pad. Nobody's got to know anything. Fuck you.
Somebody knew something.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there, he's writing his letter, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden he gets a flashlight in his face, and he's thinking that this is the fire guard or the platoon guide or something like that.
So just a fellow basic trainee.
Right.
Just
because you've got a fire guard that's walking around, and they'll be like, "Hey, go back to sleep."
Right.
Well, he looks at this light and he goes, "Hey, don't you think you should get that fucking light out of my face?"
Oh, no.
Well, there was an exchange back and forth between the two, and the soldier realized that he was talking to the drill sergeant, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, the light's obviously still on, and then another person from down the way goes, hey, yeah, why don't you cut that fucking light off?
Oh, God.
So the drill sergeant responds, who the fuck said that?
Yeah.
A third soldier from across the other way, like across the kill zone, the center spot you're not allowed to go to.
Yeah.
Only drill sergeant's allowed to walk there. Well, across the kill zone, you hear, your mom did. Now cut that fucking light off so she can finish blowing me.
Just a string of all kinds of different rookie mistakes happening, just one after the next. This can't end well.
So, of course, the original soldier in the bed is just mortified because he knows the shitstorm that's about to start.
Oh, no.
Right?
It's all his fault because he wanted to write a fucking letter.
Right, because it's not his time. Well, the drill sergeant reestablishes this hierarchy, and he's like, all right, well, we're going to learn whose time's whose right now. Takes them all out of bed, smokes the dog shit out of them for probably 45 minutes to an hour. And this is like when you're supposed to be asleep, right? In basic training, you fall asleep immediately.
You imagine the people that were minding their own motherfucking business, doing what they're supposed to do. Like, why the fuck are we getting woke up?
Right. Well, they get the shit smoked out of them, and then the drill sergeant's like, all right, back to bed, motherfuckers. Good luck.
Yeah, because that's gonna make for a really easy time to just drift right back off to sleep after you have a hard workout and get screamed at.
It's the best.
Right. So, bro, there's no segue for this one, so I'm just gonna dive right into it.
Send it.
Let me set the table here. All right, so this story that we have for you here is about 20 years old plus. It's an Army story, and it takes place between two main characters that we're gonna call Scary Terry and we're gonna call Steve. Right? And Scary Terry is an E5. He's a sergeant. And Steve is an E3, right? So, and it's also important to understand the physique of each one of these people because it comes into play here in a little bit.
I assume Scary Terry's probably like 6'5" and 300 pounds of beef.
You're close. Scary Terry looks a lot like Frankenstein's monster.
Oh.
He's about 6'4", 6'5", about 230, 240 pounds, right? And he is not a lot of fat, right? I wouldn't say he's like perfect physique, but he's a buff dude, right?
Yeah.
Like he's nobody to fuck with. Now, Steve is about 155 pounds. You know, he's average height about 5'9", 5'10", something like that. Nothing to sneeze at, but he's a younger dude.
Just a little fella.
Scary Terry is also a man of like early 30s, maybe 33, 34. And Steve is like early 20s, right? So it's important to establish all this kind of stuff. The other thing to establish here too, Scary Terry only looks scary. He's actually a really nice guy, right? Got a lot of things going for him, would do anything for you. The one little ding that you could have with Scary Terry is he is a talker, right? Now, Steve, also a nice guy. Steve, it's fun to say it like that.
It is.
This guy, what are we going to say here? Like, he's just a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, he's just an average guy, nice young man for the most part, right?
Not very seasoned as a human.
not seasoned or anything like that. He's a young dude. And these guys are working shift work together, and they're sitting a post for at least 12 hours a night, right? And they were working night shifts. So all this is important to kind of lay out right at the outset here, right? So as I said before, Scary Terry is a fucking talker, and he literally will filibuster the entire night. He'll talk about his dog. He'll talk about what kind of chew he likes. He'll talk about baseball, whatever. He just moves from one topic to the next. Now, it's not like he's offensive. It's not like he is doing anything, but it's just from the time you would shake hands at the beginning of the night to the time you turned everything in at the end of the night when you're sitting a post in a small confined space, he is talking, right? So Steve he's posted with this guy constantly, right? And he kind of does an eye roll. Like, he's a nice enough guy, but you're just like, man, like a long time we can talk and it'd be engaging and interesting for a couple of hours. But then there's after a while, you just kind of want to be and focus on trying to stay awake. Well,
8 to 12 hours of listening to somebody talk is a long time.
Yes. And if Scary Terry has a flaw, it's that he doesn't know how to read the room and understand like, hey, when it's time to maybe back off a little bit, you have a little private time, whatever. But Scary Terry was known to just filibuster the entire.
Everyone knows this guy.
Oh yeah. So Steve sitting on post, and it's probably the 5th, 6th, 7th night in the row that he sat with this guy on post in a confined space. And he notices that we'll say for the sake of the story, they take post at like 8 p.m., right? So right around like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, they're several hours into their shift. the Z monster is attacking Steve. He leans back and he dozes off for maybe about 5 minutes. And then he wakes up, and he realizes that for the last 5-10 minutes that he's been dozed out, Scary Terry has just been talking and didn't even care if he was answering him or anything else like this.
Yes.
And I'm happy to report that Steve gave way to his intrusive thoughts.
Oh.
He pushes back from his desk. He stands up. He dips down a little bit because it does a nice little twist at the waist and slaps Scary Terry right across his motherfucking mouth. Right?
Hang on. So Steve E3
yes,
wakes up from his nap.
He goes frustrated. He's
I've
like,
had
what
enough.
the fuck? This guy doesn't even know if I'm answering. He is just talking to talk. And he had thought about this because this was his boss. He had thought about smacking him right across his motherfucking mouth every night that he it would get about this time. And Steve gave in to his intrusive thoughts that night and smacked Scary Terry right across his motherfucking mouth. Now, it's important to note, Scary Terry, like I said, he would talk about chew. So he would always have a big wad in his mouth at all times. So after he fucking got slapped, Scary Terry's sitting there with his eyes wide open, his mouth wide open. Half of the dip had been like popped like a zit and gone over his face and onto the wall. And he's got one string of drool that's just dangling from his lower lip all the way down to the floor. Nothing makes sense. He didn't see this coming. He was straight bitch slapped by this young kid that he thought they were cool with. And it takes like a 9 Mississippi for anything to click about what the fuck just happened.
I was in the middle of my story, man.
Yeah, he was talking about baseball. He was talking about whatever.
Smack.
All of a sudden, he just fucking got slapped. And I mean, you can imagine, like, if you get caught off guard like that, nothing makes sense.
No.
Now, again, I'll remind you of these two very different physiques, right?
Oh, that's right.
So 9 Mississippi goes by. Scary Terry's response? Ah! And he does like a half squat. His arms are at his side. His elbows are bent about a 45-degree angle. And his hands go out. He scoops Steve behind his knees and then at his back, folds him in half, still going, ah! And he walks outside and he dumps Steve, ass first, into a 55-gallon brute plastic trash can on wheels. Boom! His feet and his hands are sticking out of the top of this. And by the way, there's trash in there. So he was, I mean, he's stuck. And Scary Terry's still yelling at this point. He did like Braveheart style fucking war face. Ah! You know, like, just like not even know, like, okay, how the fuck? And then now, like, reality's coming in. He's like, how the fuck are you just going to slap me like that, motherfucker? Like, you know, I'll remind you of your rank and this and that, right? How are you going to fucking slap me like that, motherfucker?
So he was saying all this while he's in the trash can?
Yeah, he was
feet
talking.
And hands up?
No. So Scary Terry is yelling at the E3, how the fuck are you just going to slap me like that, motherfucker? Right? And he's just like, Sergeant, you talk too much.
Oh, no.
He's like, you could fucking just say so. Now, it's important to note that this ended here, right? Like this could have gone any number of different bad ways. Luckily, they had a good enough rapport. So, like, there could be Article 15s involved. There could be reprimands, all this kind of stuff like that. But the way that Scary Terry decided to handle this is you can get yourself out of the motherfucking trash can, right?
Right.
So Steve, he had to wallow around quite a bit. Falls over, right? Tilts the thing over. And then if you can imagine like a hermit crab, he's trying to like move his way out of this fucking trash can. And he's trapped. I mean, he was trapped for a good like 5 minutes or something like that, rolling back and forth. All the while, Scary Terry's talking shit. Like, that's what you get, motherfucker. Like, you could just say so.
Of course he's still talking.
Right? So they kind of called that even Steven. Like, you know, Scary Terry was aware that people had said, like, I talk too much.
Yeah.
Steve gave into his intrusive thoughts like that, which I can't condone, but it is funny.
Oh, it's real funny.
So, and like you say, especially when it ends on like somewhat of a positive note.
Yeah.
When I was talking to this young gentleman he would kind of throw his hand out in front of his, just kind of like a Frenchman's wave and go, worth it, right? Because he became a legend.
Yeah.
For smacking the shit out of his boss. Now, again, I mean, I imagine a lot of people in the audience probably are thinking about like, I would have liked to pimp slap my boss at some point in time.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It never ends well. This one is the exception to the rule, which is why it's funny.
But if you do it, make sure you email us.
From jail.
Yeah, from jail.
Oh, man. So,
speaking of jail, so basic training is kind of like jail.
A little bit, yeah.
The next story is another basic training story for you.
Oh, yeah.
So, why are you taking your pants off?
Because it's funny.
It is funny.
We have to make things laugh.
I like it.
Yeah.
Make things laugh.
We have to make people laugh. All right, I love you.
Speaking of jail, basic training is kind of like jail, right?
It is.
Where like none of your time's yours. We already established that. Well, lights out, everybody's asleep. Some soldier comes by, nudges his buddy. He's like, hey. Like nudges him on the shoulder. Hey.
This never goes well.
No, and you can't be loud. You have to like nudge people.
Right.
Psst, hey.
Yeah.
So this guy rolls over. He's like, what the fuck are you waking me up for? And all he sees is this glowing orange disc.
All right.
All right. And he's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he kind of gets a little bit closer to it, examining it, trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And all he hears is, E.T. phone home. Like,
all right.
What is this? E.T.
And this is important enough to wake somebody up in basic training?
Phone home. So he gets close enough and he realizes that this guy took like a mini mag light and stuffed it up underneath his nutsack.
All right.
And stretched his sack skin over top of this light. And that's the orange disc that he's looking at. So this dude's...
What a dick.
This guy's nudged out of bed. He just hears E.T. phone home, and he's nosed a nutsack at this point. Trying to
woke me up to show me that you stretched your fucking nutsack skin over the lens of a mini mag light? Is that really what you're waking me up for?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Oh, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is why I love basic training stories, because you never know what you're going to get.
Ever.
And I would also like to know what lady basic training is like. Did women ever stretch their pussy lips over the lens of a mini mag light to light it up and be like, hey, check out what I can do?
Where do you shove the light? I can become a lamp.
I mean, these are the answers to questions that we really need.
Yeah.
Ladies, these are the questions that we really need to be answering right here.
Send us your stories, ladies.
Fuck yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck me.
I love you. Thanks for checking out the Cammo Comedy Show Podcast. If you like what we're doing here and you want to participate in this community, there are many different ways that you can contribute. First and foremost, tell somebody about the show. Word of mouth advertising is very powerful, and we really appreciate you for helping us out. If you have any funny military stories of your own or know somebody who does, with their permission, of course, you can contribute those stories via email at stories@cammocomedy.com. That's stories, STORIES, at CAMMOCOMEDY.com. Or if you're not too good at the internet, drop us a voicemail at area code 531-222-6146. That's area code 531-222-6146. That's right, we're giving away our phone number. We want funny military stories from all eras. So if you're not from a generation that's heavily online, we don't want there to be a barrier for participation. We have a lot of big plans for this show, and building this community to support veterans, we will announce here soon, so stay tuned. All right, I'm going to go have a nice spicy bowl of chili. Later.